Today we celebrate National Flag Day, June the 14th, 2019. Here is a prayer that I have written. I was unable to be at the ceremony this evening at the Rotary Festival of the Flags at Palatine Park. Gracious Lord, we give you thanks for the flags of America and the flags of our government that have represented our city, our county, and our country. From 3 Park Drive to Palatine Park, for all events of people. From the blowing of the flag on the connector to those at the Knights of Columbus. From the flagpole at the courthouse and behind the courthouse to those along the streets and avenues of Fairmont. We give you thanks for those who have carried the flag in Olympic ceremonies of 1960. We give you thanks for those who have planted it, as Ira Hayes, an American Indian, was one of 6 at Iwo Jima. We give you thanks for the companies that have made them. Anna Flagmasters. We give you thanks for those who protect it from the armory of the deployment of the 201. And we give you thanks for those who have died believing in it. Tom Bennett, conscientious objector, Vietnam War. We give you thanks for the first Grand Union flag, first flown on December the 3rd, 1775, as a testimony against the British Red Ensign flag on the USS Alfred in Philadelphia. We give you thanks for the great painting of the flag in Washington crossing the Delaware in 1851 by the oil-on-canvas German-American painter Emanuel Letzer, who wanted to show the importance of immigration to our freedom in America. We give you thanks for Bernard Seagram, the son of a European immigrant and Wisconsin schoolteacher whose over 2,000 speeches convinced President Woodrow Wilson to proclaim June the 14th, 1916 as Flag Day, the day the United States first adopted its Stars and Stripes in 1777. We give you thanks that our flag has been flown and been depicted in many places. In the Civil War, we give you thanks that our flag has been flown and displayed in many areas, from Gatlinburg to Gettysburg, and from Philippi to Philadelphia. We give you thanks that the flag has been flown during World War I and honored troops that have served under it, parades to honor them throughout America. We give you thanks that our flag was carried at Omaha Beach during the D-Day landings by First Sergeant John E. Hovatter, a bartender from Columbus, Ohio. At Iwo Jima by Ira Hayes, Native American Pima Indian, and 5 others on February the 23rd, 1945. And on the moon, nearly 50 years ago, by Neil Armstrong on July the 20th, 2019. Today, we give you thanks that the flag flies high above death and destruction at schools and churches, flying to condemn the hatred and violence that seems to permeate our land. The flag flies high over Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, where 18 people were murdered by a student. That the flag flies high above the STEM school Highlands Ranch in Colorado, where on May 7th, 2019, deaths and injuries occurred. We give you thanks that the flag flies high above the First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs, Texas, where on November 5th, 2017, a 21-year-old white man opened fire, killing 26 people and wounding about 20 others. We give you thanks that the flag flies high because of our veterans who have fought for all of us and for all of them. Oh Lord, help us to know the flag represents more than patriotism, more than religion, and more than a sense of God supporting us in whatever we do. Help us to know that the flag represents, O Lord, our country as it should be, to be waved, lifted, and planted to serve all of us, regardless of who we are, regardless of our gender, identity, or sexual orientation, whether or not we are married, single, divorced, children, or childless. Help us to know that the flag represents our country as the bastion of freedom for all, whether we live in this country as Buddhist, Muslim, Christian, or other. Help us to know that our flag, O Lord, represents our country in protest and in agreements, in times of sorrow and in times of rejoicing. Let us always display the flag as the best we are and live out the words to the Gettysburg Address that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that the government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth.